Welcome to the Parker Podcast Collection.
What I'm about to tell you is top secret. There's a powerful group of people out there that are secretly running the world. I'm talking about the guys no one knows about, the guys that are invisible. The top 1% of the top 1%, the guys that play God without permission. And now I think they're following me. Employee number ER280652. Just a regular cybersecurity engineer, but I'm a vigilante hacker by night.
What if you could set in motion the single biggest incident of wealth redistribution in history?
Their networks are getting attacked.
$13 million. That's exactly how much they lost.
Who did this? One guy. The whole thing comes down.
Oh, hi.
Elliot. Just attacked.
Welcome to the Not Watching Podcast. My name's Rob Howard, and this week I'm joined by
Ian Bruce,
John Marson,
and Marcus Hurley.
You can contact us on email at notwatchingpodcast@gmail.com or follow us on Twitter at notwatchingpod. I'm going to start with Mr. Robot, which is a show that many people recommended to me all on the same day. So I was like, okay, I have to see this then. It's basically about this young guy called Elliot who's got some issues, you might say. He's
on the spectrum.
He's a little bit depressed, and he works for a security firm as like an IT security specialist. So he's a bit of a hacker and stuff, and kind of lives on the fringe of society. Doesn't have many friends. He's hooked on morphine, which he uses to block out this incredible sadness that he feels from time to time.
It's almost like Sherlock Holmes, isn't it?
It is a little bit. It's also a little bit Fight Club, shades of that. It's shot all on location in New York, and so he kind of becomes. I love how basically there's this big corporation that he actually works for. He's like, well, his firm are contracted to work for this Evil Corp that they call it. It's not called Evil Corp, but they all refer to it as Evil Corp.
The first episode had so much Apple bashing in it. It was. They might as well have just called it Apple for what they're saying about it and the products that it makes.
Yeah, pretty much.
They could have just called it Apple and it would have been fine.
Yeah, but well, I think they want to be viewed on Apple devices, so that's probably what.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's you've been watching it too, Ian. What do you think?
Have you been watching it as well, Marcus?
No, not yet. I haven't got around to that. It's on my list.
And John, you haven't?
No, not yet.
Okay.
Planning on it though.
Yeah.
I thought it started really well, and the ideas behind it are really good. But if it doesn't do a true detective and sort itself out in the next episode or two, I'm going to be out.
Yeah. So sorry, just to explain, like this is created by a relative newcomer called Sam Esmail, and basically what happens is he kind of gets embroiled in like some drugs-based stuff, hence why he's on morphine. That stuff kind of comes into it, so that kind of gives it like a little bit of a Breaking Bad element to an extent. And then at the same time, like he comes into contact with this person called Mr. Robot, who is played by Christian Slater, and they are part of this thing called F Society, and they want to take down Evil Corp.
Yeah,
I think. So he. There's a lot of the drama is them trying to get him on board. That part of the pilot was actually shot in Coney Island on the Wonder Wheel. Which is brilliant because I've been on that thing, and I really appreciated like how much effort must have gone into timing those shots when you've got those swinging carriages. And there was some hilarious continuity between the two of them as they're going around on this thing for about 5 minutes of screen time. But no, it's cool that they've said it all there. It kind of lends itself, for me anyway, a certain amount of credibility, and it's like a real place.
The lead character also narrates or commentates, so there's kind of a Dexter vibe to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I really liked the first episode, and I'm going to try and not spoil, but he seemed to how can I say that without spoiling? I thought it was about vigilanteism to begin with, and that would have been a really great thing for me. If he had this ability to do stuff and really help people out and put bad people away, and that would have been enough for me. They could have had a baddie of the week, and that would have been great. But having kind of started like that, now it's moved into this evil court arc, and it feels like it's going around in circles a bit. The initial oomph of, wow, this is kind of cool, lots of little bits, but it's quite original. They just seem to be doing the same kind of shit over and over again. And it's not really moving forward. If it was a baddie of the week, then that would be okay, because you could put it in a right, this is the baddie of the week. But they seem to have this arc that isn't really going anywhere. I had kind of the same problem with Sense8, and I'm not going to finish that either. Where I just get on with it, please. Just stop filling and start providing.
I think at the moment what they're trying to do is they've got all these different like storylines going on, and they're trying to hit each one of them up like alternate weeks or something. So it's feeling a little bit, like I completely appreciate where you're coming from, and especially having watched like, I don't know, 3 or 4 episodes back to back, I did kind of think like, I've just spent like 3 hours watching this show and nothing. It's not really moved along, has it?
Yeah, exactly.
But I think Breaking Bad may have been guilty of that at times.
The first season, definitely. 9 episodes of nothing, and then 5 minutes of holy fuck, I'm watching all of this.
Yeah. So I think that they might just be trying to just flesh their world out enough for them to do that. They've already been commissioned for a second season. Yeah. So before this even aired. Yeah. So I think that the pacing might be a lot to do with it, but I don't know. I kind of picked it up about halfway through the run, and I just was I found it the most compelling thing I've watched since Daredevil earlier in the year. Okay. Like, I really, really dug it. So, just bear in mind that it's fairly slow paced. So, but there's still quite a lot happening.
And good performances. There is good stuff in there. It's getting a bit slow and needs to move along.
People have mentioned that like Christian Slater's been like this sort of bad luck charm for like lots of TV shows. Finally, he's found one that's like decent, and he's decent in it, but he's not the main part. No, he's like playing the. I guess I don't know. He's playing Hank or something. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe not.
He's a Qui-Gon, isn't he?
Yeah. He's like Dexter's dad in Dexter or something. Like he shows up sort of every other week, and doesn't do a lot really, but he's in it. Yeah. So that's Mr. Robot.
I'd be interested to hear what you guys think of it if you get around to it.
I'll definitely get on it.
Yeah, it's on the USA Network at the moment, and I'm not sure when it's coming to the UK. Apparently, they're in a bidding war for it right now, so I imagine it will probably show up on Amazon. Cool. Since they have the biggest dick.
Well, they've got a lot less money after announcements this week, haven't they?
Well, yeah.
And TV shows love big dicks.
No, I'm not going to do it. Okay.
Do you want to do True Detective, since you mentioned True Detective not long ago?
Yeah.
And that's one I haven't seen.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Let's do that. I can talk about that. I like to talk.
Have you watched True Detective, Marcus?
I haven't. Leave the series, so go ahead. It doesn't matter. By the time we get around to it, it's going to be all good.
Talking in twos.
I haven't watched 2, and I'm still waiting to hear something glowing that's going to make me. To be honest.
Settle down, young man, because here it comes from both of us, I would imagine.
Okay.
Fire away, John.
You say here it comes from both of us, Ian, but to be honest...
Come on, John, don't let me down. Okay.
Don't let you down, I'm ready.
Don't let me down, man. Go on then. What's not working for you, John?
The start of the series, I found quite dull.
Yep.
I just found it really generic. You've got your main guy who's an alcoholic cop who's having problems with his ex-wife. Never fucking seen that in a TV show or film before, have we? He's also a drug addict.
Wasn't it?
Yeah.
Different actor.
And then you've got a girl who's only got into the police force because her dad was a cop. Yeah, again, it's like a fucking massive stereotype for female cops. Obviously, she's not as strong as the guys, so she fights with knives. Fine, all right, that's kind of cool. And then the other guy's like going through a bit of a hard time since he was accused by an actress of offering to let her off a speeding ticket for fellatio, which is just the biggest fucking cliche in the world. So that set me off. I was just like, wow, what the fuck? Because after watching that first series, it was so kind of out of the box kind of thing, without meaning to sound that's fucking cliche in itself. But I hadn't seen anything like that before on TV. And just starting off that second series with just all these cliches being thrown at me, I was just like, oh God. But then it warms up quite... After a few episodes, it starts getting quite good for me, anyway. There's the huge curveball that's thrown at you where you think... I can't say too much because Rob hasn't seen it, but where you think our main guys... Can I just do it all?
No, don't.
Yeah, do it.
Oh look, all right. Use your judgment, mate. But like, if you like tell me like who killed Laura Palmer, then I'm just not going to bother because I found that out the other week. Thanks, Empire.
You read it, mate. They didn't force it down your throat.
There's no
there's a bit.
Listen to me. I was listening to it.
There's a bit where you basically think that the main character has died.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, which is awesome, and you're like, oh my fucking God, I can't believe they just done that. And then shortly after that, I think it's like 2 episodes after that, there's a huge shootout and all this kind of stuff, which is very much a by the numbers shootout. But then I think there's another bit where they it's the last episode I've seen, which is 2 ago now, and that was fucking awesome. Like it really ramped it up. The party, yeah. I'm basically fully engaged now. I'm like well into it, but for me it was a really slow start to the series.
It's almost over, isn't it? The next one's the last one, I think. Next week.
Yeah. Okay.
What did you think, Ian?
I would agree with most of that. I'm not holding on to the first series as much as I think other people rightly are. But I went into this expecting it to be different and letting it get away with some of the cliches. It's about gangsters and corrupt cops. We've seen it a gazillion times before. What are they really going to do that's going to be different? Rachel McAdams is amazing in it. She's absolutely amazing. And I'm going to say it, Vince Vaughn is amazing as well. I'm not a big fan of Vince Vaughn. Don't really like him in comedy. Not really been not really been a big fan of anything he's done, really. Except this.
Swingers was good.
Except this, where I think he is just fucking amazing. Possibly one of the nastiest, most vicious people. He's just got it bubbling away under his eyes, you know? He certainly demonstrates that in a number of places, but for me, he's the standout of this. There were some people in the first season that you thought, oh, wow, okay. He's been really, really good. I thought the shootout in episode 4, I didn't really find that too generic. I think there were enough exploding heads for me to go, oh, okay, there's some exploding heads. And a lot of claret and a lot of... Yeah, there was a lot of death in that episode. And I really liked the way the next episode, and I'm trying not to spoil, the next episode followed on from that, because I thought it was kind of a bold move to do what they did. That makes no sense without context, does it?
Oh, it's so difficult to talk about this one, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Ruining it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, the party was good. This week's was as good. And there's some really dark bits in this week's one. It's not kid-friendly, definitely.
Wicked.
And I'm looking forward to the end of it. And I think the first few episodes were a bit, oh, God, something happened, and then the shootout happened, and it kind of changed gear. It stopped becoming this rambling mess, and now they're kind of focused on doing what they need to do. And it's really... And now I think it's more like the first season, because the first season was just them trying to do what they were doing and cover it up. Spoiler, or cover bits of it up. But now the assembled team are pushing forward with their goal. Oh, something else happened this week as well. Fuck, can't talk about any of it. This is rubbish.
But what's weird about it, though, I mean, the whole for the first series, the whole basis of the show was that, you know, you've got your main guy in Matthew McConaughey, who was like literally a fucking true detective, and nobody in this series is even like an average detective.
Are they all rubbish?
They're all shit. Yeah.
I think it's all about her, because I think she's flawed in some reasonably good ways. But I think she's going to come good in the end.
I think she's got a lot of guts, and she's great undercover.
I'm not really a big fan of her angry sex just for angry sex sake. I find that a bit dull.
Yeah,
and there hasn't been a lot of that, but she's been labelled as that's what she does, and I just find that a bit dull. But she's got her heart's in the right place, even if it's a bit broken and. I'd give it a look, and if you're still bored by the end of the third episode, give the fourth episode a look and make sure there's no kids around.
I think I was, when I watched the first season, I was kind of like, oh, this has to do something soon, and it was not, and it was at episode 4, and I was like, wow, cool,
Yeah.
I'll definitely watch the rest of it. So I'll probably end up doing the same. It's just a case of, like, there's so much good stuff on at the moment, I need to it's not that I don't want to watch it, it's just that there's something else I want to watch instead. So
yeah, it may be worth waiting for a DVD or I think truly the first season's on one of the streaming services, isn't it?
Probably.
yeah.
It might
It may be
on
worth
Netflix, might be.
doing it all at
Not
once.
sure.
It may be worth doing it all at once.
Quick question.
Yeah.
I've probably asked this already. How long are the series? Are they're 13 whatever episode, or are they
I think
the
they're
full
8.
26?
I think they're 8.
Only 8.
8.
Yeah, the next one's the last one, but it's going to be
Oh my
90
God.
minutes, not the normal
Yeah,
hour-ish.
so
Yeah, it's just like a big long movie.
oh, cool. In that
That's-
case, I'll
that's
definitely
kind
give
of-
that a watch. And they're about an hour each. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that much of a commitment, it's just,
just a day.
there's just a lot of
working
stuff
day.
on. Yeah.
Also, best opening credits of a TV show ever. Jesus, they're so beautiful. Yeah, really, really lovely. It's worth watching
The
it just
same-
for the opening credits.
It's the same
It's the same style as the first one, definitely.
same writer, isn't it? T-Bone Burnett, is that his name? Something like that. Same composer.
Yeah, but the
but-
visuals of them, I find them breathtaking. Really, really.
Yeah, gotta
they're
love
amazing.
HBO.
Yeah.
It is cool.
This has been the Not Watching Podcast in partnership with notlistening.co.uk. You can contact us on email at notwatchingpodcast@gmail.com, follow us on Twitter at notwatchingpod, and you can find the show notes for this show at notlistening.co.uk. If you're listening to us on iTunes, then please give us a review. And that's all for now. Thanks for listening. See ya!
Bye. BFX.